Welcome into the Triple Option. Paul, Catalina, Royden, Ogletree. Today, we're going to dive into the Big 12 schedule this week. Both feet. And we're going to save the best game, which is West Virginia and Penn State, for last. We're going to do that.
What a tease.
We're going to build slow.
You could have just said it was going to be Iowa State and North Dakota. Like, you could have teased any of them.
That might be the
let people keep people guessing.
That might be the second best game of the week.
Mm-hmm. BYU, Southern Illinois.
Oh, you don't like. You can't talk. No, your buddy Darby Brown, doesn't your brother play basketball for those?
He did. I think he is now might be a coaching assistant for the Baylor Bears.
Here's the thing. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. I really think I missed out in a portion of my life of not being a good basketball player, and that I would have loved to be the NBA would be great, but I would not.
Oh, would it?
Yeah. But I would not sneeze at being a pro basketball player in Italy, Greece, or Spain.
No, just
an American pro basketball player. I can average 15 and 8 a game.
Yeah.
Maybe bury some threes.
Go look at those rosters. The amount of, I watched that guy several Saturdays in a row.
Yeah.
Is if you are a member of that guy, dude, which is a lot has been made on Twitter where dudes will just sit in a room and talk about names. And remember Quincy Acey? It's just that. But you can just scour those rosters for days and days and days, and just I remember Lace Darius Dunn.
Yeah,
Jerusalem. How did that?
Yeah,
where did that come from?
Yeah, no, but I'm very specific about where I'd want to go.
Oh no, it has to be.
I want to be.
You want to be
Greece,
in the Mediterranean,
France, Italy, Spain.
Yeah,
maybe Portugal.
Right. No, Portugal would be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Spain has the best basketball league if we're just counting that. But look, there's worse things than on your day off being, on a catamaran
in
somewhere.
Mallorca.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I'm making 7 figures probably.
Oh, sorry. We went to Ibiza.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Oh, man, we're playing Santorini tomorrow, and then I'm going to take 2 days off and stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
I'm going to drink wine for $6 a bottle.
Yeah. I think that gig is underrated, and I think that it should be an easier sell to guys who are like, oh, man, I can't play in the NBA. Dude, you've been to Memphis, all right? You know what's better than Memphis? Paris.
Yeah. No,
Have you been to Lisbon?
Yeah.
No.
When it starts getting in the weeds is when it's Slovenia or something, which even is close to the Mediterranean,
nice.
But or some of those Baltic nations, where you're just hey, you're gonna go play in Poland. Oh, okay, good. I was really looking forward to playing in Poland.
Yeah.
Or the Nordic countries where you don't see daylight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey, go play in Iceland.
Yeah.
There's a basketball league in Iceland?
Yeah. That one I probably wouldn't even mind either. Give me some cool.
You want to be a traveled person.
Look, Tweety Carter's played everywhere, right? He's on the Baylor staff now. He's played
going and looking at his Wikipedia
everywhere.
is wild.
Yeah, he's played everywhere. He could have one of those suitcases with stickers on it from the 50s.
Yeah.
He's played everywhere. I think that's a
Same
good
with
deal.
Pierre Jackson has the most wild sort of round trip.
I've met a lot of dudes who played in the world, the European American Football League, back when they had the Barcelona Dragons and the Rhine Fire and all that. And they loved it. They loved being over there.
I won't even try to pronounce where he's currently playing, but do you want to know where Pierre Jackson, the name of the team that Pierre Jackson is playing for? I think they're called. They were the Monkey Kings.
Oh, so he's in China.
Yeah, he is, and I believe he is in China now. He's on the Dragons.
Okay,
these are sick names.
Yeah,
like the Rocket,
Monkey Kings.
Kings. Come on.
Yeah, I would love to do that. That would be great.
Play for the Dragons. That'd be sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think that
what's
would
the
be
closest thing that we have? The Wizards?
Yeah. I mean,
what is a
one
Laker?
of the best teams is named after lakes.
Yeah.
Is a Laker a person who goes into a lake?
I think it has something to do with probably a ship.
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
Like a schooner
but I mean, like,
on the lake.
The thing is that the LA Lakers and the Utah Jazz. What?
They were in the land of 10,000 lakes.
I know, but like, is it the lake or is it
someone who goes into the lake?
Yeah, a Laker.
Yeah, I know that. I was just about to say the Jazz and Lakers should have changed their name.
I mean, yeah,
because there's no Jazz in Utah, and there's
thriving Jazz community.
Look, here's the other thing: Utah has such a problem picking names for things that they put out all these really cool names for the hockey team, and then there was just like, we're just gonna call hockey team.
Yeah,
we're gonna call it hockey.
Utah Hockey Club, go team.
Yeah, go hockey.
Well, as they say in hockey. Let's do that hockey.
Yeah, I mean, so that's but yeah, I honestly think that would be a sweet gig.
I like top 3. Where would you want to play?
Italy.
Italy's number 1.
Italy's number 1.
Yeah.
Greece and you know what? I'm gonna say France.
France.
I'm gonna say France.
Like the south of France.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Just say I'm a 24-year-old single basketball player.
Oh, well, in that case,
I mean, let's talk about where my life's gonna be. Peak 24-year-old single basketball player.
I mean, I understand the G League is probably a better feeder league back to the NBA than what these overseas, because it's almost like once you're over there, it's hard to get back, it seems. Now, some people...
Well, I think some part of it might be I
get paid $200,000.
The Charlotte Bobcats want to sign me.
To a two-way contract.
No, I'm not going to Cleveland. Look, I'm in Milan. What are you talking about?
Yeah, nothing against the Rio Grande Valley. I've been down there and it is a great place to live and work. But that's where the G League team is for the Rockets. And it's hey, do you want to live in Milan or do you want to live in the Rio Grande Valley?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you make more money one way or the other, but
I mean, I'm just saying that if your finances are negligible, then the Santorini plate breakers, I'm all for it.
The plate breakers.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I would do. So.
Oh man, I'm going to abort this conversation. Just pull the ripcord on this before
the almighty Athens Parthenons.
Yeah,
they have a different name. The Athens team was actually pretty good. They're the ones who during the last work stoppage tried to sign Kobe for $1 million a game.
I love when teams do that when they're just you know what? $1 billion.
Yeah.
Would you do it? And they did that with Ronaldo, and he actually caved. He was you know what? Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Absolutely. All right. Let's dive into Big 12 Week 1. Royden, as we sit here, we've got many games to go through and many teams. There's 16 teams. None of them play each other, so we have 16 games to go through. Unlike the ACC, which has decided that they're going to play their conference games really early on and in foreign countries.
Oh, I meant to ask you, how are you?
Not good.
Oh.
Not good. I mean,
I forgot that whole thing happened.
I'd convinced here's the thing. I had convinced myself that Mike Norvell could get the DJU out of DJU. And then I realized that in a philosophical sense that nobody can get the us out of us. And so we are who we are. And,
he is who he is.
Yeah. And so he is who he is, which is a very bland quarterback. He's not good. He's not bad. He just is.
I mean, somebody put the Moneyball meme up of Billy, this is DJ Uiagalelei. He is a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback who scrambles out of the pocket and avoids pressure and sacks and will run and play, really good football. The only problem is that the forward pass was invented in 1910.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. He's not all that bad at it. He's just afraid to do it.
He was inaccurate in that game.
Yeah.
You go back and look. I mean, it just, when he had to hit the downfield throws when they needed it, it was,
Yeah. I mean,
tough.
it's.
I mean, y'all talked about it, I'm sure, yesterday.
Yes, at length. But yes, no, I'm not doing great. I'm also mad at our fan base for clearly very much underestimating the rivalry with Georgia Tech and like how it goes. Because I knew this. They never play well against Georgia. I've said it all day yesterday. They never play well against Georgia Tech. Historically, they're all slobber knockers. Go to Winsipedia. Like, you'll see one that's like, oh, Florida State won by 30. Or, I mean, Georgia Tech came back and, like, Georgia Tech never thumps Florida State. But they do upset them quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Yeah.
They were the biggest, like, you know, I would say the teams in the ACC that gave Florida State and the Bowden era the most fits were Georgia Tech, and NC State when Chuck Amato went there and he had been Bobby Bowden's assistant for 20 years. And it was just like, oh, well.
They're going to run left.
Yeah.
I had Georgia, just to a quick aside on this, Georgia Tech was a 10-point underdog, or actually a 10.5-point underdog when in the middle of the week. And
too much.
My friends were like, oh, I'm taking Florida State to cover. And I said, I think Haynes King is just going to keep them in this game. He did it all last year. He's a better quarterback. I think people still think he's A&M Haynes King, and he's not. And then the law firm of Haynes and Haynes ran all over them. And, you know, of course, they win the game. But my friends were giving me flack for saying, I think I might take Georgia Tech to cover this spread, at the very least cover the spread. And they said, well, I'm definitely taking Florida State now. And then I just text them, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, again, I
just had to. I was like, look, it sucks.
Florida State's largest margin of victory was 51-0 in 1993. Georgia Tech's largest margin of victory was 34-0 in 1955. But if you go through, I mean, the last game was 41-16 in 2022. That was like one of the breakout games. 16-13 Georgia Tech in 2020. In 2015, the 22-16, which was 16-16 as time expired and they blocked a kick and returned it for a touchdown.
Yeah.
37-35 in the ACC championship. Florida State won that in 14, which was a nail-biter. 21-15 in the ACC championship in 2012. 2009 was 49-44, Georgia Tech. I mean, so 31-28. Like, I'm looking through the history, like 2003, a game that I was at. 14-13 in Tallahassee. Not happy about that one. It was tough. You know, and FSU had this ridiculous win streak against them. But even still, like, dear God, it's not like none of them were, especially recent history, you look at that. From 2003 on, there's one blowout.
10.5, like, I don't know what Vegas was on with that, but 10.5 points. I was just like, look, I don't think Haynes King is still like the best quarterback, but he proved last year that he's, you know, a really good college quarterback, or is inching towards being a very viable college quarterback if he can continue to complete passes down the field. Notwithstanding, but you know, look, they didn't have to. They were just like, quarterback power, run it.
Well, and he didn't even run for that many yards. He just ran for effective yards.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Zach Pyron ran for the touchdown, for crying out loud, former Baylor commit. So that the quarterback scored. It was stupid. It was stupid. Let's talk about the Big 12.
Let's do it. Sorry,
a conference that makes sense to me. Right now, but UCF and New Hampshire. Let's not really maybe get into the games per se if they're like that. Like, we'll talk about UCF. I think you're going to see a ton of rush yards in this game.
Right.
KJ Jefferson might have a couple of long passes just to show everybody they can, but I think this is going to be run.
Get out of town, yeah.
Yeah.
None of these even have spreads yet. I'm just kind of, well, a few of them do. This one doesn't for sure. The only one that I'm seeing on Thursday that actually has a spread on not sponsored ESPN Bet is Colorado North Dakota State.
Yeah.
At Colorado -10.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, only a 10-point spread. But I think UCF is going to, you know, that's what you're going to see from them this week.
I mean, same with Kansas too.
Yeah.
Like, keep Jalen Daniels upright.
Yeah, this actually should be a good game to get him loose.
Yeah.
Get him out at halftime, and then see what your backup quarterback can do. And throw everything at your backup quarterback, because you got to be ready, you know, for Jalen Daniels to be out for at least a couple games.
Forgive me, where is Linwood? What is that? Where is that college?
Lindenwood?
Is it Lindenwood?
Lindenwood.
Linwood.
Lindenwood. The Lindenwood Lions.
Are they a Division II? How do you find this opponent?
They are in the, let's see. They're in St. Charles, Missouri.
Ah, yes. A place we have all been.
Yes. I remember my vacation to St. Charles, Missouri.
We took the railroad.
Where we went to the restaurant, and we also stayed at the hotel, and
Happened to be haunted.
yeah, that's what we did. St. Charles, Missouri. There's things there.
St. Charles, Missouri. Yep.
We also saw the world record for largest bar of soap, which resides there at Chuck McGinty's house. $5 to take a picture.
Yeah. $1.50 to touch it, actually.
Yeah.
It's a weird reversal of fortune.
But Colorado, North Dakota State. Well, okay, let's talk about Utah and Southern Utah. Again, same thing with Jalen Daniels. Like
Keep him
with
keep Cam Rising upright.
Keep him healthy. Get him loose. Like let's see him in some game action.
I am interested to see. Like I know a lot of these are on ESPN Plus. I'm interested to see, does his knee work?
Yeah.
Is it out there? Is it like the Tin Man? Are they having to grease
Yeah.
up his knee brace before he runs out there? I'm just if he kind of look. It takes a while to get into game shape on these early things, and people look sloppy. But if he's out there, kind of not dogging it because he wouldn't, but if he can't move around, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have a problem with Southern Utah. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm looking for is the physicality with Cam Rising. Like, and maybe it won't matter. Maybe he could stand upright and do park and bark in the pocket and just fling it downfield. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. All right, and then also on Thursday, the one that is actually on real ESPN is North Dakota State at Colorado. Look, Colorado's got to mind their P's and Q's here. If they get out and they don't play fundamentally, North Dakota State. I mean, look, they beat Kansas State a few years ago. Like they're good enough to put a charge into you.
Yeah. Somehow South Dakota State has since supplanted them.
Yeah, we had their coach on a couple weeks ago.
It's been a weird, reversal.
Bitchin' dude. No,
He's pretty cool.
No, we liked him. We liked him a lot.
A term
the guy rocks.
A term used in 1985.
He is rad.
Rad. He's the bee's
rad.
knees.
Yeah. Well, now we're going back to like the 40s.
Yeah.
He's the cat's pajamas.
The cat's meow. Yeah, I mean, North Dakota State's still good. They're still always in that playoff hunt. They have yet since been sort of, and maybe North Dakota State fans will yell at me, but they're not as like where they were winning every championship.
Yeah.
South Dakota State has since, taken that mantle, but they're still getting people that will like be in the pros too. Yeah, which
absolutely.
is interesting to say about that school, and it still defies logic to me that they are what they are. But I kind of think that it'll be wonky for a minute. If I had to predict it'll be like North Dakota State will come out firing and score like 10 points. And everybody's going to be like, oh, what is happening with Dion and da-da-da-da-da. And then cooler heads will prevail and they'll win 45-21 or something like that.
Yeah, but like they've got to come out serious.
Yeah.
This is something that they can't. I'll tell you this: a weird advantage here might be that a lot of these guys played for Dion at Jackson State, so they like respect the FCS a little bit more.
Maybe
you probably don't have to you don't have to tell Shadur hey,
they know.
These kids can play. They know, they know. I mean, they didn't go undefeated at Jackson. In the FCS, they lost games. So anyway, all right. TCU at Stanford. This one on Friday night, 9:30 p.m. local time for the folks in Fort Worth and all about Texas. As Stanford debuts as an ACC team.
Yeah, a totally normal thing.
For a team on the Pacific Coast.
Yeah, totally normal. A 9:30 ACC game.
Yeah, absolutely. A 9:30 Big 12 game is going to become more and more common because...
I don't know. That somehow regionally makes more sense to me than AC.
We're a lot closer. But
exactly.
But yeah,
that long-standing tradition of the Stanford Cardinal in the ACC
is Stanford this is going to be interesting because this is Stanford at the point where all this stuff has driven the enthusiasm completely out of their fans, which was almost gone anyway. Garrett, how many people do you think show up to an average Stanford football game?
Man, probably
Like
about
10,000?
5 to 7, anywhere
Right.
from probably 5 to 10 on who the
Yeah.
matchup is coming in.
Yeah. No one goes. No one goes.
They're like Cal in that way.
I mean, they're like,
Worse than Cal in that way.
I think they're worse.
About the same, yeah.
The same, but like it's so TCU rolling in should really not have to worry about being on the road, and this is gonna be a huge thing for Josh Hoover to roll out and maybe get some stats. But we also, have Stanford's coach in year 2, and maybe things are better. Stanford also is gonna be a weird school when it comes to the NIL era because getting a scholarship to Stanford was like almost NIL before is NIL because
it's a big deal.
It's a huge deal, but then they have to go out and find, because look, smart kids can be smart at any school.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, getting a Stanford education.
Guess what? That check clears it. No offense, LSU.
Yeah. Well, and so you can be smart anywhere, and then you can always, if you go to the NFL and then have $1 million in the bank, you can afford to go to Stanford.
Right.
So
you can go back.
You can go back to Stanford, unless you got dumber, which happens. I mean, believe me, I've met.
I think I've gotten dumber after college.
No, I think you've just let go of the academic information.
That's
in your
fair,
head.
too.
Like
It's
you're just more now that you're an adult, there's things you don't need to hold on to as much. So you're not dumber. You've just decided to replace useful information with useless information.
Yeah, mostly movies and sports stats.
Yeah. So look, if you were forced into a situation where you had to move the movies and sports stats out of your brain, it would still be there.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm like Nick Miller in that I'm not sure I ever learned how to read. I just convinced I know a lot of words.
You just know what words look like.
Yeah. Not like
yeah. But no, I think for TCU, this should be a good jumping off point for TCU against Stanford, a team that I don't know how they're going to be.
Daniels
I really don't
can
know.
throw it around a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
he threw a lot of interceptions last year for only.
Oh, and look, they also have Eric. How do you say his name?
Ayo Manor.
Yeah, Ayo Manor.
Ayo Manor.
Ayo Manor.
Ayo Manor.
Yeah, he
That's
is.
the East Texas
He is
coming
a
up.
badass.
He caught. I swore to God, he was Jerry Rice reincarnated against that Colorado defense.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, it's just that Colorado defense was that
Yeah,
bad.
but he's pretty damn
that
good.
was a Pac-12 after dark game, and he caught 292 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the season, he had over 1,000 yards receiving, but the rest of the season it was like 2 receptions for 30 yards,
Yeah.
3 receptions for 60 yards. But that one game.
Well, he's
he's
a
a
stud.
good- yeah, he's a really
I
good
don't think it's
receiver.
his fault, but all right, we'll take a break right here. When we come back, we'll finish out the Saturday slate of games, and I've got to fix my microphone. It's limp right now.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah, well, I'll show it a picture of a microphone with the shirt off, and then we'll see what happens. Hope he's into
This
it.
broadcast is brought to you by
Microphone pornography. A very specific type of creepy thing.
It's an incredible road you have there.